lessons I had to learn when I converted to Islam. There's, yet again, it's a major religion with a lot of different cultural expressions. So some people live their Islam in a different way than I, as a European, live Islam. And that is the beauty of it. It's open to interpretation.
Good at communicating.
Yes,
That's the key
but
point.
you see, exactly, and you see the point is, for social harmony, for cohesion, for in our multicultural society, it is very important. We try to understand each other. We try to understand the other person's value, the other person's viewpoints.
If the Catholic Church had, and I'm, as I say, an atheist, if the Catholic Church had a PR campaign, the fact is it would be laughed out of court here. It would be considered, yes, it would.
The Catholic
It
Church
would be considered to be wrong. Why this should suddenly be, or if a Christian,
okay,
basically,
Peter, well, I mean,
Anne,
Peter, I think has an exception to any faith having a PR campaign. From what it says.
Yes.
Would you share that view?
We live in a media
I think this PR campaign is absolutely great. And one of the reasons I think it's great is because information and knowledge and understanding is always good of anything or anybody or any group. And I'm feeling particularly blessed at the moment. I thought I knew quite a lot about Islam. At the moment, we've got a Muslim living with us, and I'm learning so much more. And I'm so glad he's come to stay with us, because I thought I knew about Islam, and now I know much, much, much more about it. And I love your point that we shouldn't judge Islam by Muslims. Christianity shouldn't be judged by Christians. We're all sinners, And getting out what the message is supposed to be is always a good thing, and the gay rights campaign has done fantastic work over the last 3 decades.
Can we ignore facts like in Saudi Arabia, a largely Muslim country, women aren't allowed to drive, and then on the other hand you're saying...
And that's wrong, and I think the voices...
But then it's very difficult for people to understand the message that Muhammad believed in women's rights.
In Christian countries, until a century ago, a lot of women didn't vote, and yet Christianity has been responsible for the feminist movement.
Hang on, Gita, and then Tamina.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I don't think a PR campaign is the right way to go. Because the point is, if you're trying...
people explain, you say, don't explain it to us.
There are different types of understanding. And the types
how do you foster dialogue?
I'm trying to make my point, which is that the practices... I think it's a fundamental point that you're saying don't judge Islam by Muslims. Religion is always an abstract. I think you do judge what people do. And of course, all Muslims, at the point I made, don't do the same thing. They're attacking each other. And there's very little support.
Hang on.
Well, I'm not a Muslim.
Okay, hang on. Let's not attack Gita. Finish your point.
And the fact is that there's a huge tolerance in this society for very extreme groups, which are in the Respect Party, in the Stop the War Coalition, in the East London Mosque, the Jamaat-e-Islami, the Muslim Brotherhood.
What message do you think they should be putting out?
Who attack Muslims who are standing up against extremism and practicing an Islam that is not extreme. The shrines of Muslims are being bombed by the Taliban in Pakistan.
Tamina, hang on, please, just a second. Tamina.
In 2007, the Greater London Authority released a report which said that in 1 week in 2006, over 90% of media articles that referred to Islam and Muslims were negative. And this is why the PR campaign is a fantastic step, very, very positive step. And just 2 weeks ago, we had this group, Muslims Against the Crusades, disrupting the homecoming parade of the Royal Anglican Regiment. Now, I've lost count of the number of media articles that say Muslim protesters this, Muslim protesters that, without making it extremely clear that this is a fringe minority group and that the vast majority of Muslims do not agree with what they're doing.
But do the majority of Muslims not need to get that message out to distance themselves very publicly? Hang on, Peter.
The problem is that I would agree, yes, that you do have to make that distinction, and you do have to get the message out about the majority of moderate Muslims. But in that case, we should see some demonstrations sort of not in our name. That this does not happen. This does not happen.
I've organised it myself, actually.
Okay. They are not on a mass scale.
Benjamin, and then I'd like to hear what our audience think about this.
My name is Benjamin Obadiah Iqbal Zephaniah. It's Jewish, it's Christian, and it's Muslim. But I actually believe in God without religion, just stating my position. But I think it's very interesting that Islam is one of the biggest growing religions in this country. With everybody saying how bad it is, how bad it treats women, etc., it is one of the biggest growing religions. And I'm concerned about... I think the onus should be on the press to have responsible reporting I think that's what
You
really
think this
matters.
is a media problem?
I think it's a media problem. I think it's very sad that Islam has to have a PR kind of a mission to kind of give itself a better name. Because the truth is, as Anne said, once you start talking to Muslims, although I disagree with a lot of some of their views on homosexuality and everything, when you start talking to them, you find a completely different side of Islam. And I think it's very sad. I think 5 times you brought up the Taliban. Now, there's a group in Uganda called the Christian Army.
Lord's People's Resistance.
Yeah, they're Christians, and they go around hacking people's heads off and arms off if they don't convert to Christianity. We don't bring them up every time we talk about
Mehdi, I
Christianity.
know you want to come in, but I'm really keen to hear what the audience think of this. Gentleman there.
Islam is a comprehensive way of life, socially, economically, and morally. But practice by some people are very bad, which they call themselves a Muslim, but they are not proper Muslims. We need PR to let people know what Islam stands for.
Okay, all right. Gentleman here.
First of all, my eldest son converted to Muslim, and every time I agree, Islam needs PR.
Were you happy about that when he converted?
Well, at the end of the day, he's 37-year-old. He's got his own mind, and that's what his outlook is. When he dies now, as a Muslim, he'll go to paradise. Well, who am I to take that away from him? But the point I was making, yes, they do need PR, and every time you hear Islam, it's bad. It's always bad. But there's good and bad in everybody, in Muslim and in British. And at the end of the day, you know, there's Muslims that won't give me the time of day. There's English people won't give me time of day. There's also Leeds United fans, a minority, won't even give me a good word.
It has to be said, this gentleman was determined to get Leeds United mentioned on the programme because he's a very avid fan.
Can I just pick up?
Megan.
Like Benjamin, I mean, I spend much of my life, I'm a journalist, railing against other journalists who are Islamophobic or take ignorant or ill-informed views on Islam. And as I said last time I came on to condemn the media, but I would like to pick up something, Benjamin. Actually, I would slightly disagree with you. The focus should be on what wrong things are said by the media. But also, speaking as a Muslim, I believe my community does need to do much, much more to go out and speak out and learn how to deal with the media and learn how to express Islam. 9 years ago, I was a researcher on a programme like this, and I was asked, go out after 9/11 and find, my boss said, find a credible,
Media, we're
articulate Muslim
got to go, I'm
spokesman.
afraid.
And there were none, but now
Yeah.
there are. Salma, Tamina, Kristiane.
As ever, our debates continue in the Message Board. Join us next week from Peterborough.